My significant other was running a double life, by users Estaclose Guard 214. Oh, this is the perfect place for this little story. My significant other had a double life. He had a girlfriend that thought she was in a full-blown relationship when he practically lived with me. She thought I was getting in the way of their love story, so she contacted me to give me the what's up. For context, I knew nothing about her. Unfortunately, she was the side chick who believed that coming to his place for 1 to 2 hours once a week to give him sexual favors was a legit relationship. When she contacted me to try to tell me to stay away from her mans, I called him and he freaked out. I told him it was either her or me. He cried and pleaded and told me he can't live without me. I made him dump her on the phone in front of me. I then turned around and dumped him. That was 100% always my plan, lol. Insult my dog? Enjoy your slug eaten garden, by user Notaval_just British. My sister and her husband are spending a lot of time in the hospital with my baby nephew, who has some health problems. So I've been dog sitting Fred, my sister's 16-year-old dachshund. My neighbor saw me bringing Fred in for the first time and freaked. Wanted to know why I was bringing in strays, said that we'd end up overrun if the other dogs found out. The crazy cow seems to think the Twilight bark from 101 Dalmatians is a real thing. She tried to kick poor Fred. He growled because she was shouting at him, but he's so old his teeth are almost useless. He couldn't have bitten if he wanted to, and she could see that. But she still kicked at him because she's evil. Even when I told her he's my sister's dog, she didn't apologize, just told me to keep his ugly face away from her garden and stomped off. I hate this woman. I can cope with her racist homophobia and all-round nastiness when I'm her target, but Fred is elderly and frightens easily. He's confused and he misses my sister. He deserves to be avenged. Confronting my crazy neighbor will not help, I have learned this through long experience. And so my petty revenge plan was born. I've had a few issues with slugs getting in my house, escaping the warm weather. I used to just put them near my compost heap. But now, I drop them onto her vegetable patch. Along with any others I can find lurking. I've even set up some old pots in shady places to encourage them. I'm committed. Every evening she removes slugs from her veggies and gives them a good watering. And half an hour later I drop several big fat slugs over the fence, right on top of her lettuces. By morning her lettuce looks like lace. She's losing her mind, shining torches into every nook and cranny looking for slugs every night. She's setting up beer traps and eggshells and cursing all of mollusk kind. It's glorious to behold. Got fired for not complying with misogyny and it ended up in the store closing, by user feminist_witch_. I worked at a very popular cell phone chain store in the mid-2000s. I was in college and had only been working at this place for a few weeks after leaving a long-term job at an electronics store. So it's maybe my 6th or 8th shift at this store. I'm part-time. I'm the only female. The manager comes up to me in the middle of the shift and tells me I need to do the dishes in the back. There was a little kitchen area where we could eat lunch and dishes were piling up on the sink from people who weren't cleaning them when using them. I responded that they were not my dishes. I didn't use dishes at work, and if I did I would have cleaned them when I was done. The manager tells me too bad. I have to do what he says. I need to go do the dishes. We proceed to get into a giant argument. I'm not your maid. I didn't get hired to clean up after lazy employees. I got hired to sell cell phones. After arguing for several minutes I tell him to fuck off, I'm not dealing with this shit. I walk out. The next night I was scheduled and the manager ended up working by himself. That night a riot happened at the mall. Stores were broken into and robbed. He was by himself, he couldn't get everything closed fast enough and the store ended up getting raided. He was fine, people weren't hurt. The store ended up closing a week later. I don't know if it wouldn't closed anyway, but I like to think my fuck you had a little part. My old job happily took me back and gave me a raise. Where's my dinner? By user Candy Black 9. One night I decided to cook a special dinner for my hubby. They were called pappardelles. They are these big balls of mashed potatoes. In the middle of them they have ground beef. You put them on a frying pan and you fry them all around like a big ball. They're quite delicious and it took me a while to make. I spent a couple of hours making it. I couldn't wait for my hubby to get home to surprise him with this special meal. When he got home, I presented it to him as he was walking in the door. He looked at them, snarled a bit, and said, "I hate mashed potatoes. That looks gross." He then went to the bedroom to go take a shower. As he was showering, I grabbed the plate of food that I made for him and I chucked it all into the trash. When he eventually got out of the shower and headed towards the kitchen, he asked where's my dinner. As a fork full of mashed potatoes and ground beef entered my mouth, I hit the Netflix button, and pointed to the trash can. He never shit on one of my dinners again. I threw garbage back into the car of the person who dumped it on the street, by user GayTessMasher 3000. Walking through my residential neighborhood on the left side sidewalk, a humongous black pickup truck drives up from behind. He pauses a long while in an intersection for no apparent reason, then casually sticks his hand out the driver's window and drops a wadded piece of garbage right onto the street. Okay, I'm a coward. I should have dashed out, grabbed the garbage, chased him down, etc. But I'm a woman in my 60s and just not capable of a potentially dangerous confrontation. I am, however, capable of delayed pettiness. He makes a U-turn and parks at the house just beyond the intersection, a house undergoing construction. I glare at him uselessly as I pass, but he's parking and not paying me any attention. Okay, jerk face, let's see. Construction site, big shiny pickup truck, takeout food, obviously some out-of-town contractor who thinks he can roll up and spew garbage all over my neighborhood. Plan formulated. If the truck is still there, if its window is open, if the contractor is out of sight, and most importantly, if I can find the garbage. 20 minutes later on my walk back, I take a careful look as I go by. The petty gods smile upon me. Truck there, window open, voices in the house but no one in sight, and there's the food wrapper in the gutter. Yellow with some orange, Taco Bell? There's one at the foot of Boulevard at the beach. I snag it, cross over to the opposite side of the street, backtrack a bit, cross back over, then I walk past again and chuck the wrapper through the passenger side window, covering the action by pretending to adjust my hat, and stroll on. Yes, I'm sure he just tossed it out the window again, but maybe he'll pause a moment to wonder who exactly is watching him, and what judgment the gods are passing upon him.